Hello, folks. I'm Ed Overstreet, and I'm going to be live tonight, imaging as long as the clouds will allow and my streaming software permits. We're having some issues with it, and this will last as long as the streaming software works. So, at any rate, let's get started. Okay, I'm imaging with two kits. Let's go outside real quick. At least let's fire up the observation camera, surveillance camera, and here she is. I have the Edge, 8-inch Edge HD, and I'm going to be imaging M101 for a short period of time. I just want to double check and see what the supernova is doing, if anything, and I'm waiting for another target to get high enough in the sky so that I can image it. That's the fireworks galaxy. That's NGC 6946, I believe. And then over here, I have a Vixen ED81S. It's at 625 millimeters, and I'm imaging M101 as well. It's kind of a small target for M101, but I'm using ZWO cameras. They're both 533, but the camera that's on the Vixen is a mono camera. It's the ASI 533 camera Pro, and the one on the Edge is the MC, the one-shot color camera 533. I do like the sensors on these cameras, on both of them. Let's see what else. I have an L Pro filter on the one-shot color camera, and then on the ZWO, I'm running. I'm not sure. Uh, I think they're astronomic filters. Uh, they're either astronomic filters or astrodon filters. I don't know. I think they're astronomic filters. But at any rate, they're going to be imaging RGB on M101 and HA03 and S2 on the IC1319 nebula. And the nebula and the fireworks galaxy is going to be shootable around 11 o'clock. I doubt I'll be live that long, but I thought I would go live and get started, and all the mistakes can be made are going to be made right now. And I thought, well, watch me make them and try to fix them. So let's check the sky, and well, let's do this first. Let's turn this outside infrared light off, and come on, so we can look at the sky light. And let's just turn that off. I'll turn it back on when I start slewing around so I can see what the telescope is doing. And then it's still a little too daylight for me to fire up anything. Let me bring up my control, and yeah, the sky's not dark enough yet. And it's 9:20. These are short nights. I can barely make out a star here and here and here and here and here. We're looking, this is south right here, right over the point of her house. And the further away from the sun. Whoa, a moving star. It must be an airplane or one of those alien ships. And now, as I move away from the sun, so now we're shooting southeast, and so we're shooting away from the northwest where the sun set. So we've got a little darker sky, and it's getting darker. the light's falling off very quickly now, and in the next 10 minutes, by 9:30, it'll be almost as dark as it's going to get until the moon makes its presence early tomorrow morning. This is the city of Spartanburg, which is about 7, 8, maybe 7 or 8 miles from my house. It's not a big city, but it's big enough that we have a light veil that kind of hovers over these homes, and so it's part of the sky. My sky meter reads about 19.5 on a good night, 19.1 or 2 on a typical night. On a full moon night, 18.3 or 4. So, and that's shooting away from the sun or the moon. Okay, let's go back over where the scopes are, and we'll fire the light back on. This infrared light allows me to see what's going on. I'm connected obviously by Wi-Fi, and it's awfully slow tonight. Okay, we want to go automatic, and it does not influence the imaging unless the telescope is pointed right at it, and then it picks it up. So normally after I get to where I'm going to go, I just turn that off. I turn the whole thing off. So I really don't use it. Every now and then before I go to bed, I'll fire it up, and I'll check things out, or I'll go outside and look at all the cables and see where they're hanging, and if any of them are likely to snag on anything. And everything's possible. So when this is unsupervised, which will be right after I start the IC 1319 galaxy or nebula and the fireworks galaxy, once I start the last 2 targets, that's when I'm going to go out and check everything and make sure we're looking good for the rest of the night, and then I'll retire and wake up with my fingers crossed, hoping that 1, it hasn't rained, and 2, that the telescopes haven't pulled cables out of the mount or out of the camera, taking parts with it, and that's happened before. If you've done this long enough, it's going to happen to you as well, I fear. All right, let's go back to our telescopes, and I'll show you what we're set up to do. This is M101, and this is the Vixen. This is Astro 2. So this is the camera on the right, and the telescope on the right. And this is Astro 1, and it's the telescope, the edge, that's on the left when you were looking at the camera through the surveillance camera. And I don't think I'll have enough time. I may. If I start this at 9:45, it's going to take me a few minutes to get this set up. I may have time to get, I'll probably have time to get 30 images in of M101. And I'm cooling right now to -20. I don't need to be at -20. It's too hot outside. But it's struggling to get there, and it's at 14.6, which is a gracious plenty. As a matter of fact, I'll bring up outside. It is 68 degrees, which isn't too bad for this time of the year. In fact, it's excellent for this time of the year. And let's go ahead and try to, let's go ahead and set this target up, and then we'll move over to the Vixen. I'm going to make sure the mount's unparked. Bring up EQ mode, and it was parked, so let's unpark it. And now I'm going to slew to my target. I could just click on run sequence, and it's going to start everything for me, but I'm going to manually do it. Let's go outside and see where this edge is taking us. We're awfully close to the transit right now. I think it transits at like 10:15. All right. Uh, and let's center it. While that's working, let's go over here to the other mount and let's do the same thing. Let's slew to M101. I'm going to image, yeah, I know I got to unpark the mount. Thank you for reminding me. And we are at minus 19 degrees on this MC monochrome 533 camera. Not MC, MM monochrome ASI MM camera. Outside and see what this telescope has done. Well, so far it hasn't moved, so let's find out why. We are on the right one. Slew. Yes. Yes. There we go. I guess I didn't click it. I like to watch it to make sure nothing falls off and hits the ground. Uh, I'm a long ways. This is my home, and I'm upstairs over the garage in a bonus room. I'm as far away from these mounts. And incidentally, I'm connected to these two laptops. I have designated laptops for each telescope, and I'm connected by Wi-Fi using a program called Splashtop, and it's pretty dependable. And I used TeamViewer for a while and had issues with both it and them, the TeamViewer people. So I went ahead and made a change. But at any rate, we need to go ahead and refine our plate solve. So let's center and let's go back and see where we are. Well, we failed to center, so why? Let's see what plate solving I'm using. ASTAP. Let's try using plate solve 2. Usually STAP works good. So, oh. Let's try. I see stars, but I changed cameras, so I need to focus. I had the ASI 183 on the edge until this afternoon, and I decided to change cameras. And I'm going to follow this right now, see if it can. And it's found a match. Let's see how far off we are. Oh, Lordy. We're 6,000 pixels off. But he'll find it. But then I have to work on focus because we are not focused. It should be close. All I did was unscrew one camera and put the other one on, and it has the same back focus from the sensor to the adapter T-ring, but still it's a different camera, and I think we should be okay. We are 36 pixels off in DEC and 8 pixels off in RA, and I have a 50 pixel requirement in plate solving, so I'm just gonna, since it's M101, and I really only want to know if the supernova is still as bright compared to the other stars as it has been. I'm having a hard time talking again. And let's bring up, actually, let's see if we can get by running autofocus. So I'm just going to run it. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to head back over to, okay, we plate solved successfully. We're 2 pixels off in DEC, 8 pixels off in RA. And so let's go ahead and run the sequence. It says a filter wheel is connected with the target. It has no filter set. All right, what have I done? Oh, haven't set my filters. Red, green, blue. And so I'm going to save this before I forget. And now let's run it. Yeah, I got to start. Let's go ahead and bump that up. Let me go on over to this other one too. And while let's go up, fire up PhD2 and connect. Connect all. Actually, I'm starting to guide, but I actually have it set up to stop guiding when it's focusing. Because when you're trying to focus and it's sending guide pulses, uh, it it doesn't help focusing, and so you don't want to be guiding when you're uh, focusing. So uh, it should have automatically stopped it, but oh, we're done. No, we're not done. Well, mm, it says that we're right within 96 with a quality rating of 96%. It says we have refined the focus. So I'll try to go with that. What is the HFR 2.29 on the edge? That's not too bad. So all right, let's go ahead and get this sequence going, and let's run it. It's going to probably plate solve again. I have it set up to do that, to recenter. If it does, then it will stop the guiding and restart it. It's slewing to the target. I'm reading down here. So it's going to plate solve one more time. It's assuming that I haven't been guiding and that I've had some drift. So it's going to go back and resolve. In the meantime, let's head back over how that come about. And I think we're off in imaging now because we're guiding in the 0.60 range. And no, it's guiding and we're focusing. So we're focusing the red filter, which will be the first filtered images will be red, then I think it's green and blue in that order. Well, I don't really trust the focus when guiding's going on, but I'm going to let it play out because it takes a while to do it. It's on its way, and guiding is going pretty good at 0.6. What's the other telescope guiding at? Oh, it ran another focus routine, which it probably should have since we were guiding. Yeah, it's stopped now to focus, which is what it should have done before. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. While it's doing that, I'm going to find comments in case somebody's jumped on board. And where are comments? Good evening, Darren and Connection. Welcome. Has it dimmed? Yeah, I'm not surprised. I imaged it. Um, I imaged it this week. As a matter of fact, and it did look like it had dimmed some. Um, let's see. Daggone. Let me see. Where am I going to go with this? Um, no, I don't want to go there. I want to go. I don't want to go there. I want to go. That's all. I have a cluttered Mac right now. I've got all the windows open just about with something on it. Let's go to this folder right here. June. It's not a good. Oh, I don't even have it. I thought I had an image of the most recent one I took. I don't guess I've processed it yet. M101. I thought I had. Well, I took it on the 10th, and and I took it with the Edge, and I took it with the Vixen, and I haven't processed it yet. Let's see. Uh, I don't even know what is that. There it is. This was on the. I think this is right at the first of the. Oh, June the 2nd. So that's been 11 days ago. And then I took it on the 10th and the 9th, and I just haven't processed that yet. But at any rate, I thought I had. I have. I just haven't done anything with it because I saw the weighted batch processing script run. But at any rate, there it is on the. By the way, I've been imaging. I've been taking. In May, I imaged when I found out about the supernova. I had taken it on May the 2nd before it was identified with both cameras, the Edge, I mean, both kits, Edge and the Vixen. And then I took it again on the 7th, and I took it again. Uh, I did a supernova comparison. I compared M101 with the past 6 years of M101s that I took. Just put them side by side. That's kind of cool. And then starting in June, it's about all I did image. M101 on the second, first, the second, took some flats. And then the 9th and the 10th. Um, but let's bring up, this was on the 10th, and let's bring up the auto crap. Let's bring up PixInsight while the two kits are out there trying to figure out where they are and where they're going to go and when they're going to start imaging. Uh, Let me bring up PixInsight real quick here, and we'll look at M101 taken on the 10th. Trust me, it ain't going to look very good. I was shooting through some haze that was from the fires, and we had some high level, I don't know if it was high level clouds or if it was the haze. I know we had the haze because we had kind of a yellow cast to our skies, and that went on for several days. So let's open that image, and I want to show you all something too. Auto crop. Let me load my process icons real quick too. And I'm gonna leave this up because I'm gonna process this image while when everything gets going, and when I get to the second targets tonight, IC 1319 and the Fireworks Galaxy with each kit respectively, then I'm gonna come back and work on this because I'm curious. I don't know why I didn't process it. Okay. Oh, that's M51. How did that get there? I am totally lost. Um, well, Now I don't know why that hasn't been processed. I think I've had some file issues here. At any rate, let's go back outside. I had to figure that one out. In fact, I thought I made a video processing M the ninth. I have to, I'm getting too old. See, guiding is going, we are taking images. We're at 130 seconds left on the second frame. So we've got one frame in the can, and here we go. And you can't see anything. I am sorry, but there's just, at 180 seconds, you can't hardly tell that we have a galaxy. However, this is the supernova right here. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's bring up SharpCap and let's start live stacking these images. I think I can bring up SharpCap. Maybe, there we go. Good evening, Darren. I think I already said good evening, Darren. whatever, but good evening again. Yeah, you were saying the supernova's dimmed. Yeah, uh, we're going to start live stacking it, and we'll see what's going on. All right, I want to probably need to go and reset this, or it's going to take me back to the other directory. Reset settings. Reset. Oh, yep. I know. I'm gonna have to restart it. Okay. Let me restart this. I think I opened up two versions of it. But if I don't reset things, then it's going to take me back to the folder. The last time I did live stacking, it's going to take me back to the last folder that I did live stacking on, which I don't remember what that was. All right. So I'm going to go to cameras. No, I'm not. I'm going to close that out. I'm going to go to cameras, and I'm going to go down to folder, monitor, camera. And we're going to go down to, we're imaging, that's the fireworks. That's what we're going to image last. So this is the folder I want. And we're going to click on one of those lights. And there she be. It's been a while since I've done this, so let's go to live stack and let's do a reset. Do we have an, let's get started here. We've got an image, one file stack, so all right, let's zoom and let's bring this slider over here, and let me go over here and find this other midpoint. Leave the bright all the way over to the high point, all the way over. I never touch it. This is the stretching one right here. Okay, so let's really put a stretch on it, about like that. And this is the first time, the first image of the supernova. By golly, it does look pretty bright though. It sure does. So as the images come in that folder, then they'll start stacking here, and we'll see the frame stacked will be, when the next one comes in, then we'll have frame 2, because I should have started this when I first started out, and then all the other frames would have been included if I didn't think about it. All right, I don't want to ignore the other kit. It may have fallen off the pier, so I better go look. All right, here we are, and we're imaging. We already have 5 images taken at 90 seconds, and this actually looks the list a little bit more detail than. Let's zoom in at 100%. Ooh, how noisy. That's one thing I do like about the ASI 183 camera. It has no noise, none. It is silky smooth, and but it has amp glow. And unless you take darks at the absolute same time that you take your subs, then you can't fight it. But you need darks at the same gain and offset and same temperature. You can't use a library unless the library is from that night, and it's that sensitive. So at any rate, I don't know why I got off on that. So we have. Uh, let's zoom in again. I wanted to see the. Here it is. So here's the supernova. Gosh, it looks like still one of the brighter stars in the galaxy to me. But that's it right there. So let's go ahead and bring up sharp cap on this one too. Might as well. And we'll stack these as well. I won't save it and I won't use it. I can just see how the galaxy's developing over the course of the evening. I'm going to see if I can, if it's going to probably take me, I'll probably have to reset, but let me see if it gives me, yeah, it took me right back to another event that I did, and that's history. So I need to go to sharp cap settings, reset settings, and reset. Yeah, yeah. Now let's bring it up again. It's been a long time coming. Do. Now it should work. And here we go. So it took me back to 6.2. So we want to go to, this is M101, and then later tonight we're going to do IC 1318. So here are our lights. We're going to take the first one. We're going to live stack. Let's go ahead and start. And let's reset. I went ahead and stretched it for me. Let's stretch it again. Yeah, they're set. Their reset was better than mine. Okay, so do a little zoom. And so here's our supernova in this one. And that's looking pretty good. And we have 7 frames stacked on this one. So what do we have on the other one? Let's go back over. We only have 2. That's 180 seconds. So we only have 2 stacked over here. All right. Well, back to, let's check our guiding. We're at 0.57 RMS. So far, so good. I hope it stays that way. That's as good as my mounts do. I have, on very, very, very rare occasions, I have had guiding in the 0.30 to 0.45 range back and forth throughout the night on both kits. Both of these mounts are Atlas Pro EQAZ mounts. They're like the Skywatcher HEQ6s, but I have had them both hyper tuned as well, and I know that helped. When I first got them, I had them sent off, and I just had them hyper tuned. Uh, let's see. Thomas Edwards, I think, is the guy that does the hyper tuning on these mounts. It isn't cheap, but it was worth it. Okay, guiding's fine on this one. Let's go back and see our stacking. We got 3 in the can on this one. And I'm going to go ahead and just use yeah, their stretch works better than mine. But Darren, that looks bloody bright. I that just looks bright. I would think it's, well, that may be right. The whole galaxy's dim. So 11 or 12 magnitude's probably right. How bright did it, how bright was it at its brightest? Do you know? I I have no clue. I wonder what this star is, and I wonder what its magnitude is. Let's see if we can't figure that one out. Let's go to Sky Safari and let's go to M101 and here we are. Okay, so let me find out where is, I can't even tell where the supernova would, I guess. Heck, supernova would be right here. Okay, so I don't know. It's hard for me. I read this one up here better than, and the supernova would be right in this area if they had caught it. And so, all right, we want to find a reference star here. And we can compare it to, and I don't know. All right, we've got one right here, the brightest one right there, and it has a visual at 12.91. Okay, so there's a 12.91 magnitude star right at the beginning of one of these spirals, and one of them doesn't have any and one of them does. See if we can figure that out. Yeah, okay, so 11 was the brightest. Gotcha. Well, it isn't dimmed that much, but that makes sense. It's going to dim eventually. It can't last forever. Okay, let's what am I doing? Oh, let's go back out and see if that has to be this star right here. And this star right here was 12.9. So 12.9, this looks brighter than this, a bunch. Let's, so here they are. This is the 12.9 magnitude, and this is the supernova. So I would say, I don't know, supernova's just bigger. Yeah, yeah. So at 13.5 when it was first spotted, well, I got it about a week after we had. I just like to wet myself every night because it would look like we were going to have a break in the clouds. And I uncovered just one telescope because we live in the part of the south of the U.S. where thunderstorms can just pop up at this time of the year. and I thought I'm gonna get a crack at it. But for like 5 or 6 nights straight after it was spotted for the very first time, we had no opportunity. It took 2 weeks really before I could get a good view of it, and that's so frustrating. But it is what it is. If I was a man of means, I would have driven to a spot where I would have had some predictable clear skies. But I'm a poor old retired guy stuck in my backyard. So, at any rate, that's okay. I'm very blessed. Uh, so here we are. We've got 11 stacked uh, using the Vixen and the monochrome camera. This is the red data coming in. And we're going to zoom in on it a little more to 66%. So there it is. And then over on the other one, we have that's maybe 100%. We need to go back down to say 66%. And that's 4 frames that are stacked. But at least we're beginning to see a galaxy, and you can't tell in Sequence Generator Pro what's going on. We're still in the 50s RMS, which is good. We're going to be transiting pretty soon. Let me find out because we'll watch this transit take place. Let me bring up not SharpCap, but Sequence Generator Pro, and let's click on our planning software. It's going to transit at 10 o'clock, which is 1 minute. And then I think I have this set up to transit 10 minutes after, let's see, telescope and auto meridian flip set to 20 minutes after. Now let's do 10 minutes after. Let's do 5 minutes after. You do want to delay. You do want it passing the meridian at least 5 minutes. And I usually do longer, but you do want to delay because if it flips at the meridian and your telescope tries to plate solve, if it has to move it east, it can't because it's up against the meridian. So you want it to clear the meridian a little bit. I found that out the hard way. I was going to bed and expecting a flip to happen in an hour or 2 or 3, and waking up to find out the mounts had already parked and reading the logs and they couldn't flip. And it took me a while before I realized I need to get past the meridian, clear it so that the telescope can plate solve without having its back against the meridian. So that's why I have this delay or wait period. So it's going to take 5 minutes. So at 5 after, it's going to flip. It'll wait till it's finished the image it's taking. And let's go back over to, actually, these flips, these mounts, because it's on pier, I can do an hour. I can do over an hour past the meridian. And if, let's suppose the flip was going to happen at 3:30 or 4 o'clock and my imaging time was going to stop around then I wouldn't flip at all. I would just set this not to flip. But I've kind of ran a test to see how far past the meridian my mount can go without my camera getting close to the pier. And so I'm good. But at the same time, the idea of your weight's higher than your camera uh, just smells of balancing problems. I haven't found them, but it just doesn't seem like it's a smart thing to do. At any rate, I'm going to flip. Let me go back to the other telescope. Let's see what I've got this one set to. because I don't think they're the same. Telescope, uh, this is 5 minutes. So we already did this one. Let me go back to the other one. I was there in the first place. And let's try this. Bring up the control panel. Telescope. Flip. 10 minutes. Let's make it 5. Let's make it 6. Let's get one of them done first. And then, well, they won't do it at the same time because they're both imaging at the same time, but they're imaging at different exposure times. So it is 3 minutes after. At 5 minutes after, we'll go outside and watch it happen on the surveillance camera, or watch it not happen, whatever the case may be. What's pretty cool about SharpCap is that when I flip, it will continue to stack the images, uh, knowing that the flip occurred. And it's doing that without having a camera attached. So it's just looking at the images and knowing that they need to be aligned. And so that algorithm, Robin Glover has got some kind of a brain to be able to manage the development of SharpCap, which is brilliant software. Yeah, and to think that you only pay, was it $20 a year or something for the Pro, and you can have really most of the features without the Pro version for free. Go figure. This hobby has some of the most expensive price tags to it and some of the most ridiculously free, brilliant software. That Deep Sky Stacker, SharpCap, Fire Capture, Registax, Emil Krykamp's Auto Stacker, IMPPG, PIPP, KEY, MOUSE. There's just some outstanding stuff. All right, we're getting close to no, we're not. We got 5 minutes after and 6 minutes after. So let's go to the stacks and see what's cooking with the stacks. Let's see, where are you? Where are you? I'll tell you what, with 16 red stacked, this supernova is looking mighty bright. And this is the star we're comparing it to. What did I say the magnitude of that was? 12.9? Double check that. Okay, Gaia 16092. That's the right one. And it has a visual magnitude of 12.91. Pretty interesting. And it looks to be the brightest star in the spiral here, and it looks to be the brightest star in the spiral here too, apart from the supernova. And the supernova is pointing to, this arm's pointing to these two stars. This one looks pretty bright. See if we can figure out where that is. So this is where it's just hard, this arm, this is where the supernova would be in this area. This is that little galaxy that's in the corner that's so cool of my pictures. It looks like an elliptical galaxy. No, it's a spiral galaxy. But in my pictures, let's see, where's that one ahead? Where is that one ahead. Nope. Let's see. Oh, we had to go to, let's just go to Astro 5. You can't see these drives on my desktop because the streaming software doesn't let you. And I don't want that one. Let's see. Oh, where is that galaxy? I guess it's cropped out. Well, it's about time for a flip. So let me see what we've got. 62 seconds remaining on this, and it's still 10:08. I was going to do it at 10, and let's go back over to this one. May have already started. Nope. We got 22 seconds left on this one. This one might flip next, so let's see if it's going to pause for a flip. If it does, I'll activate the outside camera and we'll watch it. Yep, it's going to flip. All right, let's bring it up. And there it goes. Fingers crossed. And once it settles, then it'll plate solve. And then once it plate solves, you'll start PhD 2, back up, find a guide star, and start imaging again. If we don't have any problems. And we should be the Vixen should be flipping anytime. Come on. Come on. All right. 10, 11. Here it goes. 15 seconds or 10 seconds late. I need to have my running shoes on in case I see a snag so I can go flying out the door. The telescope off to the right that's covered up with a telegizmo is what I use for solar imaging. I've been having a blast when I didn't have to work at the observatory. Had a blast imaging the sun. And I've taken a lot of time off this summer for some other things. But I'm imaging every day I can and every night I can. We have a very active sun. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn these lights off out here and close down, or close the, I'll just shut it down. No, I don't even want to do that. But I am going to do it. All right, back to our... Okay, we've already started imaging with number 1, so it's gone through a plate solve, and we're down to 152 seconds. And we're still trying to plate solve over here. We're off 3,000 seconds. Wow. That's unusual. Normally, when I have already plate solved once, the camera's synced. Not the camera, the mount is synced. And so it doesn't take any time to recenter. That's interesting. How's the guiding going in this other one? Now that we have recentered. Looks pretty good. Let's bring it up. We are at 0.73, so we've bumped up from point in the 50s, wasn't it, to the 70s, or maybe it was the 70s. I don't remember. One of them was in the 50s, I think. But I'm under 1. I'm glad. Thank you, Darren. All right, let's see what's happened over here. So this one is starting its first image. So it did get plate solved. Guiding looks a little hairy down here. Let's see what's going on there. Lost connection to the camera. Well, it must have found it because we're rocking and rolling. But we aren't. I want to pay attention to this because I may have to get my hands on this one. We're at 76 though. I'm going to bump up the speed to 2 seconds. My RA isn't too bad, but my deck is, it's drifted south for some strange reason. I'm going to shut it down and disconnect. And then I'm going to reconnect. I'm going to change to, I'm going to try to get another guide star. I'm going to change to 3 seconds. Clear this. See if we can't get it to automatically pick another guide star. And it won't. It did. All right, let's see if that helps. And let's change this back now to, let's go to 1.5 seconds. What's the SNR? 288. Okay, so we got a good guide star. That's better. If it stays. Sometimes all I need to do is get another guide star. But given the exposure of 1 second, it was picking a guide star. If you change the exposure and start all over, it will pick a different guide star because it has, at 3 seconds, the option to use more stars. And sometimes all I need to do is change guide stars. I stumbled on that accidentally. All right, let's go now back to SharpCap. And we have 21 images stacked in SharpCap. We've had none ignored. Let's resume. So we've reset our histogram. not resume, reset our histogram. Let's change this to more like 40%. And let's go back over to Sequence Generator Pro. We have, what do we have? We have 30 images taken and an hour to go. That'll be right. 11:15, 11:20. I'll switch targets. And what's SharpCap got to allow? And let's reset the histogram. And let's take this back down to about 33. Okay. Darren, this is a wicked, bright supernova still. I wonder, is it possible for a supernova, I guess anything's possible, to start dimming and then get bright again? I have no idea. And maybe it's dimmed, and maybe this is just dimmer and it just looks brighter to me. Oh no. We only have 9 out of 30 images stacked and none ignored. I'm not sure kind of why that. Did I click on the first image when I did the fit selection? I don't remember. But I wish I had all 30 stacked, because I'd try to bring out some of the color, because this is a one-shot color. Oh, I don't have debayer on. Dang it. Let me reset this. That was a bad thing I did. All right, we're going to start it again. And so we're starting to stack frames. Let's reset the histogram. I'm going to have to go find my mid-level. Oh, I'm not going to fool with this, because I should have just left it at mono. We get this stretch going. And we'll bring the green down over here some. It's such an aggravation. It does have a thing that if you click here, it's supposed to set the white balance automatically, but that's what I got when I do. So let me just reset the whole thing and bring the greens down. Yeah, I know. You're right, Darren. I'm just going by my comparison of. I'm just going by comparison of the supernova with the other stars around it, and looking at it. I can't get this right. I have no concept of color. I'm trying to move these channels and get them lining up with each other, but it looks like it should be right. Oh, that looks like it's, but it isn't. Nah. Yeah, this is worse than the mono. I'm about to desaturate the whole thing. In here lies the sweet point. They're so sensitive too. Mm-mm. Nope. Ah, crap. Anyway, let's go back over. Let's check guiding, make sure we haven't lost everything. Now we're in the 80s, and this is on edge. So the edge is in the 80s. Uh, I'm going to leave that guide star alone. Let's go over here. If I'm under one, the edge is the one that bothers me the most. If I'm under one, uh, then I'm okay, usually. uh, it depends if the RA and the deck are close, then your stars are going to be round regardless of the RMS. This is what I'm finding out. Now, if the RMS is, say, 2.0, which is out of control, but the RA is 1.3 and the deck is 1.4, the stars are going to be round, but they're going to be bloated round. So when these two aren't close, I get oblong stars even when the RMS is a decent RMS. So that's what I've discovered with my setups. So gone down into the 50s, but if these two were way off and you started really looking close at my stars, I had good guiding, I thought, but my stars have that football look. So that's been good idea, Darren, on the well, I have to plate solve. I use pinpoint and plate solve 2. That's what I've always used. I've got both of them set up, and I went ahead and set up ASTAP, but I have found that I actually have better results. It seems like that my kit bails too quickly with ASTAP, and if I'm going to flip and I'm in bed while it's flipping, I had too many fails where it didn't plate solve using ASTAP. So I was surprised that I already was set up with ASTAP earlier because I usually don't use that. I've used it just to check it out, and it works great. But I've had better results when my hands have been off the kits with pinpoint by far, and plate solve 2 a close second, very close second. And I would say ASTAP is in the running for um, almost tied with online plate solving when I have to do a blind solve. But that never fails, unless you just don't have any stars. Clouds or thin layer of something's keeping you from seeing enough stars to run a plate. And Astro Tortilla, uh, that's brilliant stuff. And when I first started imaging, before I got PixInsight or Sequence Generator Pro. This is like in 2009, 2010. I don't remember, but I was using Astro Tortilla, and it took a while to figure out how to set it up. But it's genius software, and it's longer. It takes longer, but it never. I mean, it always delivered. Seemed like it didn't have as many catalogs to search from, but then you had to manually configure them. But I used that, and I used Nikon cameras. Started out with DSLRs because I'm a professional photographer, and I use Nikon glass and Nikon bodies, and I started using. I had two Nikons that I use. One was a D8 D800 D810A. It's the only astrophotography camera that Nikon's ever made, and it's a loser. It's a waste of money, total waste of money. And then I had a D800E that I sent off to Spencer's to have a heat reduction system put in and a hydrogen alpha filter, and it worked great. And I used that with Astro Tortilla and a backyard EOS, which was designed for Canon only, but he ended up making it usable by Nikon users, and that's what I used. Those two software programs were my acquisition and plate solving softwares during 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14. Probably around 2014 is when I got Sequence Generator Pro. I saw it on the Astro Imaging channel and went and bought it. Yeah, I was reading on the Sequence Generator Pro forums about how impressed everybody is with the ASTAP, and it was the reason I went ahead and added it. And yeah, just impressive. Um, but I still have more success with PlateSolve 2 and Pinpoint. Once I got Astro Tortilla figured out, I was I, I I didn't think anybody could pry it from my computer because it took a little more time, but it was one. And I tell you the problem with plate solving. I am not an astronomer. I do not know the night sky. I can go outside, and because I've been doing this for a long time, I can identify stars now that I could have not identified before my adventure into this. But I do not know it. I don't know where the constellations are, roughly, some of them, because I know the basics. But um, for the most part, I'm just dumb as a skunk when it comes to astronomy. And, uh, and plate solving's caused that. And I don't have to do a 2 and 3 point alignment. And I don't have to do any of those things. I just plate solve. So I don't have to go outside and find a star in my finder and know that it's the right star. Crap, I'd get my find when I first started out and I went outside and it said, okay, slew to this star. I, I'd look through my finder and I see several stars. Now, which one's that star? So I don't even know which one to center, and it should be the brighter star, and it may not be in my finder. And so I just sit there with my thumb in my mouth and blabbered on a piece of toast like a baby, trying to figure out where I was. It'd take me an hour, hour and a half to get polar aligned and to get it set up so that I could take an image, and then I'd turn around, bump the mount, and have to start all over again. So when I got Astro Tortilla figured out, I swore never, never, never would I ever uh, not use that program. Yeah, the A10A is a waste of money. The A10A had it delivered the worst images I've ever taken with a camera. Now the D800E, once Spencer's got a hold of it and modified it, it was a decent camera for deep space, for a nebula, for all around deep space. Um, in fact, I would say right now it's the best one-shot color camera. And see, I had some expensive. I still have it. I have uh, an f4 600 millimeter lens. I have an f4 200 by 400 lens, and I have an f4 400 millimeter lens. And that is some good glass. And I took my absolute best image ever in my life, at least in my opinion, of Andromeda. It's the best deep sky picture I have ever taken. And I took that with the 200 by 400 f4. And I think I took it at 200 millimeters, 200 in that range, and the D800E camera. And I'll show you. This is the. Let me move. I have it on my desktop. It's this image right here, right behind this. It's all blown up, so it probably doesn't look very good. But I took that with my that you're looking at. I took that with my Nikon D800E, and it looks better than well, maybe to me it looks better than it's showing up on my streaming screen because I've got that over here. I'm looking at it too. But at any rate, I've stopped using the D800 A. As a matter of fact, to take the white balance, it makes a good landscape camera, but you have to just go ahead and set the white balance. I forget what I have to set it at. At I set it at oh goodness, like neon. I set it at a weird setting, and the colors are balanced pretty well. So it's a landscape camera now. I don't use it hardly at all. I hardly do any other. If I'm not shooting sports, I'm shooting stars. I don't do any. All I do is sports photography and or astronomy. Now, um, you ought to check out Spencer's, Darren. They put a heat reduction system in my D800E, and so that D810 has a tremendous sensor. It takes a great picture. The D810, good camera. And the D800E was a good camera. The D800 was not. I got both. The D4 and the D3S were by far the D4 and the D3S by far the best sports cameras that Nikon's made. And they're out of it now. They're just completely out of the hunt. In fact, I expect them to sell out and cease to exist. Canon and Sony's just dominating, and their equipment is just phenomenal. They have they're just phenomenal. So far superior in body camera bodies than Nikon. But I'm 78 years old. I am phasing out of all photography other than astro imaging, and so I'm a, I'm not uh, I am not about to sell my glass. I've got a lot of money in it, and I'm not about to sell my glass and my bodies and start all over with a whole new set. If I were in my 50s, yes, I'd be out of it. It'd be gone. I would have left Nikon. Sure would have. Okay, guiding's working good here on the edge, and I'm glad it is because that has a 422 millimeter field of view, and it's not nearly as forgiving as the Vixen at 625. And so let's see how it's doing. It's in the 60s, which is just fine. But hey, see, this is what's not just fine. Almost 60 RA and 30. So my RA is twice the value of my deck. So my stars, I'll show you. I've got a very good um, RMS value, but I don't know about this image because the stars look pretty good. It's making a liar out of me. They look pretty round, but maybe it was better when this image came through. Let's see what this next one has 50 seconds. I doubt it. It's I don't know. Let's see where it is now. Well, this dropped to 40-30. Maybe it was just up there for a second. But these guys right here, this is what I follow the most. If I have a large RMS number, but my RA and my deck values are close, I can reduce the star size. But I have a hard time taking an oblong football type star and making it round. But with Blur Exterminator and morphological transformation in PixInsight, I can fix bloated stars a whole lot better. What I can't do is fix bloated stars and retain color very well. Retain good color. That becomes another issue. But I get to the point where I don't really care anymore if I have good color in the stars because the only people who take issue with it are the real good astrophotographers and like on Astrobin, and they would probably thumbs down most of my images because I do oversaturate some of them, trying to get the nebula or the galaxy to suit my taste. But I'm getting better at it. You got a lot to learn with this hobby. It is nothing like anything else photography wise. Nothing. Then nothing comes close to it. Okay, I'm getting awfully close to finishing. It's getting close to, let's see, how many more? Oh, we got a lot to do on. All right, I'm taking IC 1319. What am I taking? IC 1319, IC 1318. All right, let me find out where that is. IC 1318. Oh, it's too low to image anyway. Oh yeah, I can't image it now anyway. So this is, am I right now? Now, okay. Use current time. All right, let's advance this a little bit. 30 degrees. Let's see. So at 11:30, I'll start. Because this is right, this is in the north. I have dark skies. I have dark skies in this direction from my home. So, yeah, sure is. Okay, yeah, that was that image of um, the galaxy Andromeda was super good for me. It was one of my best. Let me go to Astrobin, and I know I got a better image of it, and log on, and let's go to me, and let's go down, 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 uh, down, down, down. Here it is. And I'll tell you exactly what I took it with. I took it with the Nikon 200 by 400 f4 and the D800E, and it's only an hour and 20 minutes. That's something. And I took 120 40-second images, and there it is. 120 40-second images. That's just good glass. So, yeah. Alrighty, Becky here. So I've got 59 minutes, which is 10:43, 11:43. So it'll be 12. That'll be a good time to start the other one. So when this finishes, I'm going to load. I could have made another. Added IC1318 to this, but I knew I was going to be up, and I like to have two different separate directories. So what I'm going to do is, I've already got it set up. I'm just going to go over here and load IC1318. It's already set up and ready to go. So I'll slew there and get that going. Then the same thing over here with the other kit. How is guiding going over here? We're in the 60s. It's okay. It's great for me. And so we've got another 34 minutes left on this. Really? 34 minutes? Have I stopped? No. It's going to take more than 34 minutes to take. That's 12 images. Okay. So at 11:30 probably here, we're going to go to, where are we going? Oh, the fireworks nebula. I've already forgot. All right, let's go back out here, and let's put in NGC. What is it? It is 4639. Is that it? Is that it? No. Nope. Well, let me go look. And let's just go to 6946. Wasn't even close. NGC 6946. All right. Wow. Hit the wrong. Okay, where's that at? That's in the same place. So it's right here now, and that's at that's pretty bright at 8.88 magnitude. And it's just right for the edge at 11.4 by 10 arc minutes. Really fills up a nice frame. So that'll be ready. That'll be a good, and that's right now at an altitude of 36 degrees right now. So by the time in an hour, that'll be at a perfect time. So let's go. Well, that is 11:30. So that's what I'm going to image. It'll be 36 degrees at 11:30. So Okay, right now it's just past the 30-degree latitude. So let's see how our stacking, we have 37 stacked, and we'll reset this. But these are, and you notice that it flipped, but it's still stacking the images. Um, uh, it's acclimated itself for the flip. It's aligned them and stacking them. Again, Robin Glover's a genius, and the software is just brilliant. I mean, it's brilliant. I use the PoleMaster for polar aligning, and but the polar alignment routine on this, I don't know. You don't need a PoleMaster. I'd already bought two for each of the mounts that the Atlas Pros, and then Robin comes out with that script. More money that I didn't need to spend that I did. Okay, guiding's going great. Let's go ahead and fire up Quartier du Sol. Wish I could speak French so I could pronounce some of these names. And that's where my telescope is right now. We just passed the meridian. And we'll head over to this is the software I use for controlling my mount. If I'm rather than Stellarium, because it takes up no memory, and my laptops outside are working with the bare minimums. They're old laptops, and again, this is on M101 too. They're kind of old laptops that have been worked on by my computer guy, and nothing's on them but astronomy software. That's it, nothing else. They don't go on the internet unless it's to download some astronomy software, and that's all they're used for. And I've got one in here that I use for solar. So when I connect them, they use the same ports. Each of the kits has its own Pegasus Ultimate Power Box. So they're all plug in. So I don't have the COM port problems that I had before. And I try my best not to change. I hate to even change cameras. I'm not a Windows man, but I have to use Windows because of the softwares. Astronomy software is almost all Windows oriented, and I use iMacs or Macs for everything else. And I'm on a big iMac in my office now. I'm so thankful that Sequence Generator, that PixInsight works with a Mac. All right. Let's go back outside. I don't know, I'm stuck on this. Yeah. I bought two of these small, I think it's what I got is a Melee. I'm sitting here right in front of me. I got two of them. I'll turn on this light here real quick. No, mine is a JMK Tech and then a Melee. The Melee is the real skinny one, and then I've got a JMK Tech uh, that are sitting here, and I haven't been bold enough to connect them. Uh, I just haven't been bold enough to go outside and hook them up and try to get everything to work. Uh, the laptops, as long as they're working, I've just been using the laptops. And but when they die, I'm not going to buy any more. Um, this guy that I work with, Levi, he's a computer genius, and he'll pick up an old laptop and fix it up for me, and that's what I've been using, what he could deliver. But I've got two of the Melees, and I saw who was it? I think it was Keith uh, that was using one, and I sent him a message and asked him if he'd buy it again, and he said he would. I'm pretty sure that's who it was. I can't remember, but I said, asked him, "Are you absolutely sure you're happy with it?" And he said, "Yes, by all means, he would recommend it." So I got one, and I connected it to a big monitor I have here, and I was impressed with the speed. And I loaded all the software on it, and I was playing around with it um, inside. And I thought, I wonder if the Wi-Fi is going to work because uh, I'm my I'm a long ways, and you're going right through all the walls in my home to go outside. I'm a long, long ways from my telescopes. I'm as far away from my telescopes as I could possibly be in my home. Because that's where my wife said I can set all this stuff up. But it's the only logical place for me to put it. It's a bonus room that's finished bonus room. It's large, and I can put all my camera gear and we built in furniture on one side, and I just bought tables for the other side and to put stuff, and so it works great. But I'm a long, long way, and I was just afraid that I would have connection problems, and so I've got some external antennas that are outside with both of the laptops, but I don't have to use them. I have them. I can switch back and forth. But the laptop built-in Wi-Fi on both computers works great, and I have a good signal, uh, reasonably so. So if you go down here, uh, I got 3 bars. So I don't know if that shows up on. I'm not sure what you can see on the live streaming, but I have 3 bars at the bottom of my Windows machine here. So, and I sometimes have a breakdown where I lose a signal and have to reboot. Uh, but for the most part, it's pretty dependable. Uh, the Pegasus Ultimate Powerbox version 2, I have 3 of them. I was using rig runners and USB hubs before, and that was awesome. It's just I was making wires all the time, and and I got good at it. But what I like about the Pegasus is that if you decide to rewire something and you don't get the wires right, you're not going to blow up your your camera or your mount. But there's a lot of things I like about it. They're dependable, and so that's what I'm using there. Sure am. Bought one and I was wowed by it, and so now I have 3 rig runners, and I don't know how many of those little USB things I've bought. Weather just gets to them, and I keep my gear out year round. Well, all but 2 weeks. I bring the mounts in July. Usually the weather's so bad with showers, afternoon showers, pop-up showers. I just don't trust imaging unless I'm hands-on, and I don't do a lot of hands-on imaging anymore. I get it started, go to bed. But I bring them in, and then I take them apart and re-grease and clean them. And during that 2 week period, uh, it's the only time they're not outside. The rest of the time, all that gear stays outside. And so USB hubs didn't last, but you know, the dew in South Carolina is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's sometimes it's worse than a shower. Um, Layers of it of water. Um, it's just crazy how bad it can be. And so as long as I have the telegizmos on, everything's dry and stays great. I've got a telescope. I've got an edge. I'm not an edge. I've got the Celestron. What is it called? It's the black Celestron. Oh, what is it called? 8-inch SCT in the garage that I roll out in the driveway when kids come over and let them. It's on an alt-as mount, and I'll hand them the controller and let them go to the moon and the planets if they're viewable. So that stays under a telegizmo in the garage. And I swear that gets dustier and dirtier than the ones outside. I mean, the ones outside just stay great. And the pollen during the pollen, when pollen gets really bad on the trees that they cover the cars and everything else, my mounts, because of the telegizmos, I'm so impressed with them. I even I sent a we had a hurricane that was pretty wicked in South Carolina 7 or 8 years ago and did a lot of damage. Uh, Really, I think it was Hugo, and the winds up here were violent and they were sustained and they were for a long, long time. We had 2 or 3 days of just you got to be kidding me winds. And I would go look at. I had to take the umbrella down. I keep an umbrella, one of those patio umbrellas, 9 foot patio umbrellas, and it covers two of the mounts. It doesn't cover the solar mount, and that's on a tripod. And I bring that in from time to time. But it was out. All three of them were out, and I had to take the umbrella down, or it would have flown off. The mount stayed dried. Uh, I didn't even tie them down. You have these strings around the bottom of it, and you can little ropes that you can kind of attach them and tie them. And I didn't even have those. Uh, they were lengthy enough. I buy larger ones than I need, and they were lengthy enough that and they're heavy enough that they didn't go anywhere. But I tell you what, I looked about every hour, and it blew our porch furniture off of our screened-in porch and moved stuff outside. But so I wrote to the Telegizmo folks, and I told them my experience, and I said I'll be happy to write uh, a recommendation because your gear is just it's just saved my kits, and I replace them about every 3 years. I tear them up, taking them off and on. There's a kind of a tinfoilish, I don't know what to call it, but it's a fabric that looks like tinfoil. It's not real thick, and it does tear. And I'm not that careful with them, so it just gets kind of raggedy. It doesn't keep them from getting. Uh, they don't get wet because of it, but it has something to do with the thermal. Telegizmo boasts that in the wintertime, your kits stay 10 degrees warmer, and in the summertime, 10 degrees cooler than ambient. I haven't tried running the temperature comparison and don't care. I just know it keeps them dry and free of dirt. So that's why I like them. Yeah, we do have humidity. Let me see here. I want to try to find something to do. Okay, we're getting close to. Yeah, is remote is good stuff, and I wouldn't do this as often as I do if I had to sit out and babysit the gear. Um, I just wouldn't do it, and I couldn't. Uh, the cold in South Carolina can be bitter cold. We do have weather in the teens, but with our humidity, it's the real feel down here is always much worse than the real temp. But it's cold and in the wintertime, and I'm not going to stay outside and freeze to death for any hobby any longer than I absolutely have to. And I have weathered uh, a lot of a lot of football and baseball and soccer freezing to absolute death. I'm not gonna. I got paid to do that. Mm-mm. So if I can't do it remote, I'm really not planning on doing it. And then even almost as bad is the humidity on hot summer evenings, the humidity and mosquitoes. And I sure don't feel like swatting those things and leathering up with insect repellent. So swatting mosquitoes and fighting the cold. Now there's times when I just like to be out with the telescopes, but that's when the weather's nice and the skies are clear and things are going good because the back wall of my where my telescopes are, I don't know if you can see it on here. It just worked out that way. I didn't know it was going to work out that way, but when we put the piers in and built the wall, the retaining wall behind the piers, I'm on a hill. I'm up on a hill, and there's like 10 steps that go down here, and my house is below. This is I have a hill that goes up, and then we're fenced in. But this is kind of a retaining wall, and I can. There's my little cushion right here, and I can sit here, and and my laptops they're a lot closer than it looks here. But I can sit here and run both of those gears, and I have stadium seats that I use for games that I go look at and not photograph. And I just put an old stadium seat out there if I'm going to spend some time out here, and it's very comfortable when the weather's nice. But both of those piers are in 4 cubic yards of concrete. That doesn't sound like a lot. That is a lot of concrete. I don't remember how many bags it was, but when the guy that helped me put it in came and we carried him back, um, oh my goodness, 50 bags, 60 bags for each pier. That's about right, I think. I don't remember, but it is a lot of concrete. Even with, and piers, these steel piers are 120 pounds each. They're heavy. Carried those back here too. But even with that, when a car goes by that's got that big bass, boom, boom, kind of thing the kids have, uh, it can vibrate. If you're watching your PhD graph, and I've got the outside camera and it's still lit, it's still on like this where I pick up sound, and I know that it went by playing music, I can see it in the graph. It'll vibrate this kit. Now maybe the mount's not moving. Maybe it's just a telescope that's the camera is picking up that boom, boom. But that's nutso stuff. Back to the gear. back to the targets. So we're at M101. We're about to finish it up. And we will finish it up, I guess. This is on, we've got 14 minutes left on 14 minutes left on M101. I was really more interested in seeing if, when I started this out again, if our supernova was still in play. And so this is with the edge, if you're just joining. And this is the M101 being taken with the other telescope that I have. And it is, evidently, it's going to the blue filter. So it finished the green. And I have 25, I don't know how many I picked, 25 90-second blue filtered images to take. But it's focusing now. It does an automatic focus with each filter change. So Darren, you're absolutely right. Automation is, it just makes it possible for me to do this hobby. And I have friends that are in our astronomy club that they do some automation. You know, they'll have their iPad or their iPhone or a laptop, but they don't leave their gear up at night. They stay with it until they're finished, and then they take it in. And I get that. I mean, it's pricey stuff, and I think they're afraid of the weather and a telegizmo maybe not working for them, or any other type of cover. But I help manage an observatory, and our dome leaks worse than um, our dome leaks as bad as and talking about money invested. Well, my telegizmos don't leak. So, all right, we're down to 37 minutes of blue for M101, and then we're switching targets. Guiding looks pretty gnarly now. I don't know what's cooking down here. Oh, still in the 70s. It just looks gnarly over here, where huh. So we're taking our first blue image, and we'll see it's sharp caps stacked 49 in all so far. And this is definitely with a mono camera. So sharp cap stacking and Sequence Generator Pro. It did cool to -20. I didn't think I could get there in this heat. Let's see what our temperature is. It's 65 degrees, relative humidity 73%. Here's what I know. When the temperature and the relative humidity collide, when those two numbers intersect, you can rest assured it's wet outside. And the power box, the ultimate power box, will turn the dew. It's already warming up. It's anticipating. It's already turned the dew heaters on, both of them, the one for the telescope and the one for the guide scope. So they're not all the way up, but they will be as soon as those two lines intersect. They'll be they'll be maxed out to keep them dry, and it does. It keeps them dry. My telescopes will be dry completely, the whole thing. Back to the camera. Don't know how that happens, but it will be dry. Whereas I'll have dew on the mount, I'll have dew on the pier that extends, I'll have dew on me if I go outside. Let's go over and see what the other power box is doing. Let's see. Let's go to the other one. And let's bring up the power box over there. And let's, yep. And they are both on about, they're doing the same thing. So my camera's pulling 1/10 of an amp. The focuser, moonlight focuser, and why it's pulling anything, I don't know, because it's not working. You know what? No, I know it's right. The mount's pulling 0.74 amps. Now, I don't understand this. I don't know why the moonlight focuser's pulling anything. It should be, and I don't have a fan. This is for the Rasa and the Newtonian that I use. Huh. Huh. But you can, if you're having USB problems, you can find out what's going on there. If you have their focuser, the Pegasus focuser, you can control it from there. You can see, I don't know how to read this. I just know current and amps, and you can have several different configurations for different kits. I just change it for each one. When I put the Rasa on, I just make changes to one. I don't get too fancy with it. And that's one of these setups. There's a browser type of setup that you can use too. You don't have to use. I like that one better. That was the first one they came out with, software for controlling. They have another one now they would rather I use, and it's got more bells and whistles. But I still like the old interface better. I look how the mean. I paid attention. The mean has gone down from like 3,500 to 1139, and part of that is because my light pollution has dumbed down because people have gone to bed, turned off their lights, not as many cars on the highway between here and town, and so the light pollution has dropped off a good bit because this isn't a town that stays up all night. This is a sleepy little southern town, and the lights are on till 8:39 or 10, but then restaurants start closing, and about the only thing open are a few honky tonks, and everything else just kind of goes to sleep. So my mean comes down, and I love it when it hangs around there because that's cool. And let's go over and check out the other. This is probably not going to be as good, so let's see what our stats are. Yeah, it's at 36. And let's, this is the, I wonder what my gain is on this. I can't tell because the camera's connected. But if the camera wasn't connected, I should have checked this. I bet this gain is at 200. I bet it's not unity. I actually should be shooting at about 60 seconds to bring this down. This is too high. Yeah, well, I tell you what, it looks bright to me. It doesn't look like it's gotten any dimmer just visually from the images I'm looking at now. It may have, but yeah. Darren, where are you located? Where's your home? Where's your telescope? Okay, I'm gonna have to pay attention to this one. Oh, Lordy. Have you all been affected by the fires? And how in the world do you manually polar align if you're looking through a polar scope when you're at that latitude? You just about have to be laying flat on your back. It's bad enough when I'm at 34 degrees trying to get down and look through a polar scope, but I don't do that anymore. But boy, when I did, near Calgary. Wow. You do get cold up there though, don't you? You don't have to answer that. I know. Guiding seems to still be going good. Um, we are on our last image, and I'm going to have to stay with it because it'll want to shut down, and I don't want to shut this thing down yet. I don't want to start cooling. Yeah, I would uh, I would think telegizmos would work great year round in cold weather. I don't know, but I would think they would. When we get into the teens, it just doesn't last long. We'll have maybe 2 or 3 a week of cold weather at a time. Then it kind of warms up into the 40s, 30s, 40s here. But then we'll have a spell where we'll have a week or two where we're in the low 30s and the 20s, and on occasion it gets down into the teens, but rarely single digit. I don't know that it's been single digit since we've lived in South Carolina. We moved here in 1985. Ironic as it may sound, the coldest that I've ever been was in Orlando, Florida. I grew up there. We used to work in the orange groves and made a little extra money. Uh, and if there was going to be a freeze, and they get freezes, and this is what I don't want to happen. I don't want to run the end of the sequence. Uh, they get freezes, but when they gets cold down there, it gets very windy, and it's the humidity is off the charts, and it's just like being buck naked in a 50-mile-an-hour wind when it's freezing. And we'd go out and put smudge pots out. They were just to kind of keep the groves warmer, keep the orange trees from freezing. So, hello, ICXT9 from Salt Lake City. Welcome. We're imaging M1. We were imaging M101, and I'm going to save this. I think I already did, and then I'm going to open up this fireworks sequence, and we're going to slew to this target. And here's the fireworks galaxy, and that's how it's going to look after plate solving. So I'm going to bring up the outside camera so I can watch this telescope as it slews to the fireworks galaxy. So here we go. Let's head over there. And let's head outside and watch. So there it goes. Oh, here forgot to stop PhD, and it's telling me it's lost its guide star. You think? It's kind of low in the sky, isn't it? All right, let's go back over and let's bring up PhD and tell it not to worry. We know. Let's restart it. And then let's bring up, let's just close down SharpCap. I'm not going to do any more stacking tonight. And we'll clear this out. And let's close this one down too. Let's bring up Sequence Generator Pro. Let's center it. Do. This is going to be the Fireworks Galaxy ICXT. And, Wow, we're way off. This just usually doesn't happen. Typically, PhD's upset that I'm having to move this mount as much as I'm having to move it. So let's just stop it. But it's plate solving, so it's really moved it. Now we're getting close. We're 48 pixels off, so that passes mustard. We sure don't look like we're in focused. We're focused. Let's run autofocus. It doesn't look focused. Or I got some super bloated stars. I'm going to go ahead and start guiding. No, I'm not either. ICXT, I have two telescopes that I'm imaging with. These two here tonight. This is still imaging M101. This was imaging M101 and it's finished. This is a mono camera. It's the ASI 533 mono camera, and I imaged RGB M101. It's a Vixen ED81S. It's a tremendous refractor. I love it. I have a Teleview that I love too, but this one just, it delivers. And I'm at 625 millimeters, no reducer, and I have a flat field from one end to the other. It's just a brilliant piece of glass. Love it. This is the Edge, 8-inch HD Edge, and it has the 533 camera, but this is the one-shot color, the MC camera. I use Orion 60 millimeter guide scope on this one, and this is a ZWO 60 millimeter. This is at 240 millimeters. This is at 280 millimeters, though. And both of them have Lodestar XV guide cameras. And both of these mounts are Atlas Pro EQAZs, and they're pier fitted and buried in concrete. And that's my backyard. And this is a solar kit over here on the right that's covered up with the telegizmo. And those are the telegizmos I folded up underneath the little table over there. Oh. Let's go back and see if we have focused. And we have. We're done. So let's go ahead and run this sequence. Let's start our guiding back up. And now let's run. It's going to plate solve again. If it starts to focus, I'll stop it. And it's gonna, we don't need to do that. We just focused. All we need to do is let it plate solve because we probably had some drift. And we were 50 pixels off, and I'd rather be closer. So let it try to fix that. Do. Well, I didn't see how it fixed it, but I don't know what we ended up at. So it's getting the auto guider set up. I'm reading down here, resuming the auto guider. And as soon as it settles down, we should start taking our first of 60 182nd images of the galaxy. So we're off and running. And let's check our guiding, see how that's going. We're in the 70s. Whoa, that's a big guide star. I may have to change that. Let's just go down to 1 second. Even the HFD is large. I got a good graph though, a good sharp point. So my guide camera's in focus. But the full well half maximum is 2.63. And for the guide scope, that's pretty high. At any rate, it's guiding fine. It's as good as I ever get, and it's in the 70s. And for the edge, I wish it was lower, but it's okay for me. I can't complain. I've had a lot worse and had to try to fix the images. And the RA and the deck are, wish they were closer, but they aren't. Okay, let's go back over and check our other kit. And we still have a little ways to go. We got 14 minutes, and then we're going to change targets, and that'll be it for the night. You're welcome, Darren. You have a great night too, up near Calgary. I'm going to make sure this mount is up and running on IC 1319, and then I'm going to bed, and I'll be bringing this to an end. So ICXT, if you're still on, do you astro image any at all? Let's go over here, and we ought to have our first image coming in of the fireworks galaxy. Yeah, we have. This is our first image. Let's stretch it a little more. Yeah, you can barely see the arms coming out here. Goodness, it's a humongous star field. This is nuts. Wowzer. Oh, that's an awesome telescope. I love stellar view. I have a 70T, an SV70T. It's 330 millimeter for wide field, and I love it to death. They discontinued making that, but what a sweet little telescope. And I love the family. I love the whole, they're just tremendous. They're a tremendous complement to astronomy. And I highly recommend Stellar View for well-made equipment. I'm using a 533 MC camera tonight, and I'm also using the 533 mono camera tonight. the monocamera is on the refractor, and the one-shot color is on the on this one. This is the 533 at work right now. I've got a great mean value at 1518, so it's good to see my skies manageable. My signal looking at my signal over there is I don't know, it's in the 1100 range, so I don't know. I'll probably have a little bit of a problem getting a good image from this. I'll sure try. You need a lot of subs is what it's going to take. It's a, well, you're a stellar view man. I see XT9, and I don't blame you. That's a sweet telescope. Okay, let's see. We're getting awful close with the other telescope set up. We're down to 10 minutes and counting, 11 minutes and counting. Guiding looks a little bit nutso over there. I don't know what's happening in RA. Huh. Well, it's still in the 70s. We've had so many clouds. We've had so much really the kind of weather that's not bad at all. It's the temps. We've had the coolest June on record, but we've had a lot of clouds. So it's been great weather, but it's been cloudy weather. We've had we've had sufficient rain that we're above what we need, and so we're blessed. We have had a lot of cloudy weather, so which is okay. It does make when the skies are clear so much fun. It's like Christmas. When you know you're going to have a clear sky night, it's like Christmas. You never know what you're going to get, but you go out and give it your best. All right, guiding with Astro 2 is not doing well. We're at 0.74, but our RA is almost twice our deck, so that's bad. So that means I've got oblong stars in the making. We do, right here. What was that? Three really bright lights in the sky showed up right here. Three very bright lights in this I don't know if y'all saw that. I'm going to play this back. Wow. Just three very distinct, look like really bright, bright stars. Wonder what that was. What have we captured? And let's see how the blue channel is working for M101. By the way, we definitely have the supernova still very, very active. I've imaged this now about 10 times in the last 6 weeks, before and after M101 produced this supernova. But evidently it's dimming some, according to Darren. I really haven't been following that, but it still looks very bright to me. Oh, crap. We just had a jet fly over, so I don't want this one. I'm just going to mark it bad. And I think I've lost my, yeah, we're reconnecting. I've lost my connection. Now we're back. I think. I'm just going to disconnect it. And let's see, that's there we go. All right, so we marked that one bad, and we're off to the next one. See you later, ICXT9. Clear skies to you. I hope you get some. Sure do. For those still watching, we have we're finishing up M101 with the Vixen, and we're headed over to shoot IC 1918. What is it? 1318. We're going to load that target and shoot that in a few minutes. I'm going to take 5 more of the blue channeled images, and while that's working, see, I need to move this one to let's put that one there, that one there. There we go. Switch. Okay, that's good. That's good. All right, let's see where we are. We've got, let's go ahead and bring up Sharp Cap, and I don't need 2 instances of it, but let's bring up Sharp Cap and do some live stacking. And so in order to do that, I got to go to Sharp Cap settings and reset all of the saved settings. Now let's bring it back up and let's go to folder monitor, and let's go down to, we are on the Fireworks Galaxy now, and we've taken one, so let's open that up. And let's bring up live stack, and let's start the progress. Let's try an auto. Let's bring this white down and this over more. So we have 3 stacked images of the Fireworks Galaxy. I'm going to go ahead and try that again. I like the auto stretch version, pretty good. So here is our 3 stacked image of the Fireworks Galaxy. You can barely make out some of the spirals. A lot of star field, big star field here. And we're down to 3 minutes and counting. And then we're going to switch targets. I'm going to stay right with this until it finishes, because it'll shut down and start, it'll park the mount and cool off the camera, and I'll have to restart all of that. So I'm going to look back through the images, and we thumbs down that one. About 20 images ago, the mean was at 430. As we click through the images, the mean just drops and drops with the light pollution from the city. As lights go off, you can watch the mean go down, and that's nothing but sky flux value. And here we are. So it went down about 300 ADU in 20 images. About 20 images. It went down 300 ADU. I am Chris. I'm using the Edge HD and a MC ASI 533 MC camera, and that's right now on the Fireworks Galaxy. And this is the Vixen ED81S, and right now it's on M101, but it's about to finish up. And then it has an ASI 533 mono camera, and I'm shooting RGB. I think they're astronomic filters. I'm pretty sure they're astronomic. I have some Astrodom, but I think I took those out because they're 3 nanometer, and it just requires such a long exposure. And honestly, my guiding's not been that great for those long exposures. And since it's just RGB, astronomic filters, I think, do just as good. That was a bad buy on my part, but I need to come back over here and make sure that when this takes its last image, which it's doing right now, that I stay with it because it's going to shut everything down if I don't catch it in time. And good day to you too, Chris. According to my weather map, my weather apps, we might be getting some clouds around 2 and 3 o'clock, and then they seem to pass through and it clears out. No, I don't want to run end. So I want to save this sequence. I'm going to open up a new sequence. I'm going to open up this one. And we're going to take HA, O3, and S2, 182nd. We're going to try to get 30 in of each, which is 4 hours. What time is it? Midnight? That'll be 4:30. We won't. It'll just start getting daylight here. I'm going to go down to 20 each. And then I'll add 20 on the next clear night. I won't even process this. I'll wait till I get some more data, but I'll get 3 hours in tonight. And so I want a slew there. So let's go outside and watch this work. There goes the vixen. Forgot to take PhD and stop it. So it's squawking. It's raising Cain. All right. We're going to center. And I'll go down here and stop PhD. I know. I moved them out. And it's going to plate solve. Chris, you been doing okay? Huh. Both of these kits have been really way off. I should have synced the mounts in Cortez de Seal, and I wouldn't be doing this, but I forgot to do it. I'm going to do it now. As soon as this plate solves, I'll sync this mount, and then I'll go over and sync the other. In fact, I'll go over and sync the other one now. And there's the okay. Let's see. This is NGC 6946. So let's go to Cortez. Come on. What's wrong with my mouse? There we go. Okay. Let's find NGC. I already forgot it. 6946. Fireworks Gallop. NGC 6946. Okay, let's find it. And it has, so let's sync it. Sync. Confirm that your telescope is pointed. It is. So now that I've synced it, I won't have to, if I have to plate solve again, it'll be on the money. It'll just be a few 100 pixels off if it's off. I meant to do that earlier tonight. Okay, and let's go back to the other kit. And we are 6 pixels off. That's a good plate solve. 5 in RA and 1 in deck. Let's start PhD. Back. In fact, I want to disconnect and reconnect all the gear. Let's clear the mount. Let's start guiding. Let's go back and run the sequence. And it's going to try to focus. And it's slewing to the target right now. And to be honest with you, I need to focus the HA03 and S2. It's going to use HA to plate solve. It shouldn't do that. Should have stayed on Loom. Usually I plate solve with the luminance channel. I don't know why it changed it. It was already set on Loom. Now it's on HA. This makes it harder to plate solve. Gracious, I'm taking 18. Oh, it's focusing. Hit. I've lost my mind. I'm sitting here looking at thinking it's plate solving. It's too late. It's focusing the HA channel, and that's what it needs to do. I'm going to get this started, and then I am going to retire. That's good. Chris, I was just reading your post. You got clear skies then. That's good. I have some 3 nanometer Astrodons, and wow, I just about have to take where I can use my astronomic and take 180-second filters. I say 180-second exposures. I have to almost go to 300 at 3 nanometers. And then I had to buy a whole new set of astronomic filters for the RASA because you have to use a whole different set of filters for that beast. Narrowband. This is going to end up failing if it's not careful. Failing to focus the HA. Yep. Try it again. I think it was pretty far off. I know. I don't need a warning. I can see it. I love the astronomic filters, though. I really do. I haven't been disappointed, and I have two. I actually have 3 sets of them, complete sets at 6 nanometers for two sets, and then and a special. I'm forgetting what it is for the Rasa that I had to get, and I think they're astronomic. They may not be. I got just a complete. The Rasa turned out to be a very expensive but very fast scope that I probably would not have done again. I know I wouldn't do it again if I knowing what I know now. That I have it, I enjoy using it when I get into the nebula world. In the fall, I'll put it on. Now we're going to get a focus. But at the Rasa, I'm at f2, so I can take 20, 30, 40-second exposures. That's all I need. Narrowband, 45, 60-second exposures. That's all I need. The difference between f2 and this f7 setup for the edge and f6 point, the Vixen is 6.7, f6.7. Oh, getting close to my bedtime. Yeah, we have a good focus now. 99% quality rating. And it's taking a validation exposure, and then it's done. It's going to plate solve and start guiding back up, and we'll be taking our first picture. And then I'm going to bed. Plate solve, plate solve. Please. Yeah, good. It moved to the luminance channel. Takes forever to plate solve with HA. Got to take 30-second exposures. Well, we're 236 pixels off in RA and 0 off on deck. So it drifted 236 pixels in RA since we originally plate solved. Now we're good. It's going to start the guide camera, and we're going to take our first pick. It's waiting for the guide camera to settle. Uh-oh. It may not settle. Look at that graph. What's going on here? Let's clear this out. All right, we're going to stop this real quick. That's nonsense. I'm going to raise this up to 3 seconds. I'm going to disconnect this gear. I'm going to connect it back and see if I can't make it pick a different guide star. Come on, pick another one. It did. Good. All right, that was just too big of a guide. That thing's huge. I can't guide on that. And so let's get this settled down. And let's bring this back up to 1 second. Well, what's going on, RA? We're awful low in the sky, I know that. We're around 34, 35, 30 degrees. So we're We're at 145 though, and here's the problem. My RA is at 130 and my deck is at 50. So I can live with 136 if these two numbers are identical or close. But when these are that far apart, all my stars are going to be like footballs. I can't fix footballs. I can fix bloated stars. All right, we have a signal 140, 126. We may need to change guide stars again. RMS is a little better. Not much. I think it's going to get better though, the higher in the sky we get. I'm trusting it. All right, let's go back and start this. And oh, we're not. It went ahead and took a picture. Crap. Okay, well here's our nebula. Let's see what our stars look like. Yeah, see, they look like footballs. Crap. All right, we're gonna just delete this one. Oh, look at what's going on? This thing has been in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s all night, and it's decided right now, and we've been in that part of the sky. I don't get it. So I'm going to mark this one as bad, and it'll start all over again. All right, we got to fix this, or we got to improve it. So let's stop it again. Let's pick a guide star at 1.5 seconds. I am going to disconnect and just clear everything out. Let's connect it again. It went back after that star. Well, let's try it again. Wow, that's 8. Wow. I'm going to have to go outside. I got a cable or something that's, I got something going on outside. Oh, I hate that. Right before I get ready to go to bed. Dadgone it. All right, let's go on out to, let's just stop this. It's pointless to do any imaging with this. So I'm going to pause, abort, and we don't need that image anyway. This was the, okay, so we only have one image that we've actually taken. So let's go ahead and take this and completely close. We're going to come back and we're going to go manage profiles. We're going to go use wizard. The guide camera is going to be the lodestar, and guys go focal length. This is on the f2, so it's the Orion, so it's 240. Next mount is Atlas Pro HE26. Yes, that's the guide speed, declination right. Okay, next. Proceed. No AO profile name. This is going to be 6. Where did I just lose? Let's get rid of this. Now, profile name is going to be 61323, and we'll go ahead and recalibrate. We're going to have to recalibrate. We're going to finish this, and so we're not going to take darks, but we are going to recalibrate this mount. And so let's go to the southern meridian and let's find a star. How about there? What's the deck? -3. That's fine. We want a star near the meridian, about 0 deck. Let's try this one. And that is -2 deck. And this will be about right. And that is -1 deck. And that's 0 deck. So that's where we're going to slew. So let's slew there. And let's go watch it do that. It'll be almost straight up in the air at 0 deck. Big up, ba 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 da da ba, and the meridian. Do do ba ba do 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 do. Okay, now let's go back to. Can't find it, and let's find a star. Doesn't matter which star it is. I know we need a dark library, but we're going to trust we're not going to have a hot pixel. So let's looping. Let's turn this up some. And let's guide, and it should. Yeah, it's going to start calibrating. So we're going to run a calibration. And it's moving the calibration star west. Oh, me. Now we're coming back east, then it'll go north, then it'll go south. I'm not going to run the guiding assistant provided this. I know the settings that I want for. These are the settings that I want. I'm going to drop the minimum mode down to probably 10. Let's go ahead and do that now. Hysteresis down 5, and we're going to go down here to 10. I'll keep RA aggression at 70, and I'll keep deck air. Okay, minimum mode. That'll be left alone. And that's fine. And resist switch and hysteresis. Okay. Do 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 do. And this is about done. Wow, that was a heck of a. Let's see how we got. Let's see what our calibration data looked like. That's the backlash. And RA rate and dec rate are almost the same. That's good. So I like it. Good job. Good calibration. All right, so let's stop guiding and let's go back to our target. Why does the news always pop up? I hate Windows machines. And do up, do da. We're going to get it going now. We're going to get it going now. And let's go watch it go. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Okay, we can shut off the camera. I think we're good for the night. Don't need this again. Hopefully, we will be able to guide. If guiding problems persist, I'm so tired, I'm just going to park this one and let the other one run. I don't feel like going up on the hill and checking cables. Hopefully, just slewing it back and forth. Fix that. See, now we're only 140 pixels off and 23 pixels off on our first run because the mount's been fairly synced. And good. We should be plate solved right now. Yep, 18 pixels, 16 pixels and all off. Good. So let's resume. I'm going to start my camera. Come on, guide camera. I know I need a dark library another day. It ain't looking good. Holy smokes. You kidding me? Are we losing? Oh, we may be dealing with some clouds. No, I just have the wrong star. All right, let's do this. Let's stop this nonsense and let's disconnect. Let's clear. Let's disconnect. Let's clear. Let's come back. Let's connect. Let's keep her cool. Let's change to, say, 3 seconds. Let's find a new guide star. I know, don't show again. But I do need the reminder. What's going on here? All right, here we go. That went back up to that guide star. Pulse guide command to mount has failed. You know what? I probably need to go replace my cable That's what's happened. I need to. That is a unfortunate thing. Now it was guiding pretty decently. I didn't let it run very long on at zero deck. Let's try one more time. Connect the gear. Actually, let's try disconnect, close. I'm going to shut down PhD altogether. Let's go ahead and clear that. And let's open it back up. Connect. Same guide star. Let's change this back to, say, 1.5 seconds. Still having that problem. So I'm not going to be working on mounts tonight. We're going to park this scope, bring up this hand controller. Hey, we already have parked. That's why it isn't. This is crazy. All right, we're going to do it. Somehow or another, I parked them out. You can't guide with a parked mount. All right, let's see. Let's bring out the outside camera. Let's see where this telescope is. We got some problems. And I probably haven't. Oh no, it's parked. It is seriously parked. Okay. So, do we want to image with this? Yes or no? All right, let's make sure the mount's unparked. And let's go to the nebula. And let's go plate solve. And we gotta stop. So it's clear. Let's go back outside. The mount's there where it's supposed to be. And let's center. I don't know what I did to park the mount, and it may be just something that Sequence Generator Pro decided to do. I have no idea. But it is about time for me to swap cables. The one thing about leaving your gear out year round is that, and I don't know that I wouldn't have to swap cables if I didn't leave it out year round, but I get about 5 or 6 months of imaging. I'm just thinking it seems like I have to replace them about twice a year. And not the power, but the data cables from the USB or from the Pegasus power boxes to the mount. Those USB type. Ho, ho, ho. All right. So we're 10 pixels off. Pretty cool. Now, I'm going to try one more time. We're going to connect. We are connected. Going to disconnect it. We're going to start looping. We're going to find a guide star. It still wants that guide star. And let's see what happens. We're guiding. Not a good start. Wow. Let's go up to 3 seconds. All right, let's go up to 4 seconds. Oh man, the signal is 350. It's a fat. That ain't gonna work. Uh, nope. Okay. Let's go down to a half a second. And let's just let it run for a minute. Let me bring hysteresis back up to 10. And minimum mode down to 5. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try the image, and it'll either just be a total bust, and I think it's probably what's going to have to happen, but whatever. So we're gonna resume. Oh, I forgot. We did. Let's abort. Let's turn it back on. That's cool. I could have been doing that. And I'm going to go ahead and start. I don't care. We're going to start imaging everywhere, anywhere, anyway. I'm kind of watching this over here. Oh, sure look good. Maybe I'll settle down. Tell you what, I don't like the half a second though, because I know we're going to get some clouds later on, and a thin layer of clouds could really cause me to lose my stars while I'm sleeping. So let's go ahead and make that at least 1 second. And Chris, I think it's going to beat me tonight. I am so low in the sky though. It's like 30. I don't guide real well when I start out around 30 degrees, and let's see, we're on IC 1318. IC 1318. And we're not too bad. That shouldn't be the problem. We're right here. So we're about 40 degrees, I'm guessing. Altitude 45 degrees. That should not be the problem. That should be a perfect place for this, for good guiding. And seeing's not bad because my other telescope, well, let's go look. Maybe our guiding's not good over here either. Uh, nah, we're still in the 70s, so that's very respectable. And we're getting down to 2 hours on the fireworks, and it's 12:30, 1:30, 2:30. I'm going to add another 10 images. So we'll go 2.5 hours. So we'll do 75. That ought to give us enough to see what we got. Boy, you can't tell there's anything in here now, can you? Did I start sharp cap? Oh heck, I'm opening up another instance. There's sharp cap. That's 17 images stacked. You can just barely see that there's a spiral galaxy. Just raising the background. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just going to go ahead and close this. I won't be looking at this again. I did this basically for this live stream to see if we could benefit from it. Now let's go back one more time and look at guiding. Oh my goodness. Heavens to Betsy. All right, that's no point. We're going to pause. We're going to abort. We're going to park it. And if this was early in the night, I would try to figure something out, but I am save. I'm not going to fool with it. And you bet you it stopped guiding. Shut this down. Tomorrow's going to be far too cloudy to image. So I'll go ahead and shut this down. And I am going to shut down EQ mode. I'm going to shut the mount off. That I'm going to keep the dew heaters on all night though, because I'm not going to go out and fool with it. I just want to keep it dry. And I'll take care of this. We don't need it. And so that's it. And this one's going to seemingly go fine the rest of the night. I did get some M101 with the other telescope before guiding went insane, and none of that makes any sense. And it's not seen. Seen's really pretty good tonight. And we're imaging almost in the same part of the sky. These two targets aren't too far apart at all. So go figure. It could be a cable. It could be the way things are pulling, hanging on it, and I don't know. I'm just gonna have to check it tomorrow and see if I can't figure it out. I'll put it in the same part of the sky that all the problems were, and I'll just see what's going on. Probably nothing. It just decided to misbehave. All right, well, folks, I've enjoyed chit-chatting with you. I hope everybody has a great rest of the week. And I hope you do have clear skies in your neck of the woods. Until I see you back here again, I'll catch you later and have a good one.